What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Project Runway Season 18, Episode 11. So, look, y'all. We've been talking in them comments all week. I think a lot of us are in agreement about Victoria, but tonight gonna probably piss you off all over again. It is Victoria's birthday. I personally feel like she should be with her husband to celebrate because I feel like she should have got eliminated last week, but it's whatever. He was able to deliver some roses to her, or have roses delivered to her, and we start our day. It is the client challenge. Every year, you know that the designers have clients, and there's usually some sort of theme. One year they did teachers, one year they did first responders. This year they're doing Olympians, with the Tokyo Olympics coming up. But the twist is it's a mixture between all of them will be competing. You have the Olympics, and then you have the Para Games, which is usually right after the Olympics or right before, somewhere in there. I think it's right after though. So they're all female clients. And some of them are from the Para Games, and some of them are from the Olympics. I don't want to say the word regular games, so that's why I'm kind of struggling, because I don't want to say regular. But y'all know what I'm saying. The other Olympics. The main Olympics. Y'all know what I'm saying. So, they pull out the button bag, honey. And the first person they have is a rugby player. She's tall, and of course she played rugby, child. So she's paired up with Jeffrey. Then we have a wrestler, and she's paired up with I can't remember who she paired up with. I'm going to come back to the wrestler because I'm going to remember who the wrestler's paired up with. Nancy is paired up with a woman who's in a wheelchair. And she's excited because she says she's done, I think they call it adaptive fashion. She says she's done that before, so she's excited. Brittany is paired up with, she does the shooting, and I know her. I remember her from the last Olympics. She's been in 6 Olympics, and this is her. She'll be the first person ever that's going for a 7th Olympic. So she's not even Michael Phelps has done that one, okay? So like I said, I remember her. She is bad, baby. Bad. Marquise got paired up with a runner. She's a sprinter, but she has a prosthetic leg. Sergio got paired up with Victoria was the wrestler. See, I knew I figured out because I remembered everybody else. So Victoria got paired up with the wrestler. And then Jeffrey was paired up with a volleyball player who I remember her. Yeah, I love the Olympics. Let me tell y'all something. I love the Olympics. I remember her as well from Brazil because she has an African name. So she's tall. She played volleyball. But I remember her name because it's an African name, and I remember them calling her name. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. So it's a 1-day challenge. They have $450, so they're giving them more than enough money. And they gave them 30 minutes to sketch and figure it out. Now, normally with these client challenges, the trick is doing what the client wants, but also keeping your personal aesthetic. So, everybody came with very distinct ideas as to what they wanted. And they had very good reason for why they wanted what they wanted. I think that all of the designers went out of their way and bent over backwards to give these women what they wanted. I think that they wanted to the women had stories, and I think they just wanted to make them feel beautiful. So for that, I commend all of them because I think all of them like I said, bent over backwards. Now, Sergio was his normal arrogant ass self. Honey, I just can't with him, y'all. I can't. His model ended up finding out that she was pregnant. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. And she wanted to show off her baby bump. And so he made this, I don't have it's not a whole lot of filler with this one, okay? Other than, Jeffrey was arrogant. Now, when they were in the store, okay, let me rewind a little bit. When they were in mood, everybody wanted a red dress. So everybody is picking up red fabric. And Christian is like, what's up with all the red dresses? And all of them were like, well, that's what my client wants. That's what my client wants. That's what my client wants. And he's telling them, you know what? You can't find a fuchsia. You can't blend it with something. Like, yes, they said they want a red dress, but maybe they want, maybe you can mix it up, or you can. And sometimes with a client, maybe they think this is what they want, but you give them a better option, or you break it down for them a certain way. And it's like, oh, you know what? I like that. Okay, maybe that's red mixed with something, or maybe it's a print. Brittany was saying, oh, I'm used to dealing with prints, but she just wants a black dress. Maybe you still could have done a print, and she would have liked it. I don't know. I'm saying. But to me, with $450, you had a lot to play with, I feel like. And the other thing that was kind of irritating me was, this is what Christian does. Christian has clients. This is what he does. He knows that people walk in one way, and he knows how to finesse them to what he thinks is going to look better. And that is where I think all of them failed. Because even though Victoria, because the judges were like, well, Victoria's the only person that stuck to her aesthetic. But Victoria told that woman that's what she was going to have. The woman said she wanted sexy. Victoria was like, well, I do asymmetric. The woman said, she said, I do peekaboo. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. So, yeah, Victoria was true to her aesthetic, because she told the woman what she was going to make, and the woman was like, okay, sounds good. And it still wasn't a cute dress. As far as I was concerned, it was too damn short. Anyway, so here's how I feel. Now, there was a little moment where Brittany was trying to figure out some boning, and she asked Sergio. And Sergio, I don't mind, because I don't want to beat them because they didn't know how to do something. And I just know that my skill level is just, it's just more advanced than theirs. So I don't mind helping them out. But she wants to do this boning thing, and I just don't know if she can handle that. I just don't know if her skill level is there. I was like, this arrogant ass. Oh, he irritates my soul. Him and Victoria irritate my soul. Do you hear what I'm telling you? So then they done went to mood, honey. They done came back. Victoria's making an asymmetrical dress. Now, the one good thing is that Nancy she's not making pants. I ain't gonna say she can't, she could, but she's not making pants. But what Nancy does want to do is create a train. She wants to, because she asked her client, what's the one thing that you've always wanted to be able to do with the wheelchair that you can't? And she said, I've always wanted a train. What about a train? So she's going to create a moment where her client can have a train. And she did something really cool. She made the train with Velcro so that she can pull it off if it becomes an issue, or she's ready to get on the dance floor and do some things. So Nancy, I think, put a lot of work into making it adaptive. And so forth. So let's just go on and get into these looks. It's not going to be a long review, because like I said, there ain't no whole lot of while I was watching this episode, I was thinking about it. All of them are getting along. There's no big drama in the workroom. There's no big argument. There's no brewing rivalry. You know what I mean? I think that they all know who they are, and they just accept who they are. Like, everybody know who Sergio is. They just deal with it. Jeffrey even described Victoria. He even used mean to describe her. He said, but I love her. You know what I mean? So there's not really no whole lot of in the workroom. They just working, honey. They just making their dresses. Jeffrey kind of screwed up his dress a little bit. And he had to start over from scratch. That's really, y'all know Jeffrey can't handle pressure too well. Y'all know he don't do that too well. With the critiques, once again, Christian was critiquing them on. He was critiquing them on what I already said. Like, you listen to your clients. Maybe you listen to your clients a little too much. Maybe you guys are leaning into what they want a little too much. But of course, ain't nobody listen. Well, that's what they want, Christian, and I think it's nice. That's what they want, Christian, and I think it's beautiful. That's what they asked for, Christian. I think I did what they wanted. So Christian was like, child, whatever. Christian was cutting up a little bit in the workroom, honey. He was doing his ribbon of Olympics, and he was doing his little ballet, child. I think that I think with him not having as many people to critique, he got a little bit of time to play around a little bit. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of the playful Christian. You know, he sort of can let his guard down a little bit because it's not as many people. Like I said, he doesn't have as many people he has to deal with or whatever. So it was cute to see Christian be a little playful and fun, you know, in the workroom or whatever. So let's go on and get into these looks, child. So let's start with Marquise. Marquise had his athlete. She was very petite. She's very young. She's very young looking. She has a very young body. She's an older woman. Well, not older, but you know what I mean? She's not a kid, but she looks like it is. She said that one of the things she wanted a sexy dress. She wanted floor length. She said because of her body type and her size, because she's so petite and so small, that a lot of times she ends up having to dress, like she ends up buying stuff out of the kids area. And of course, it's only going to be but so sexy, even though I have seen some dresses that in the kids area that I think, but I understood what she was saying. But I don't think Marquise did it. I don't think Marquise made, other than the fact that the dress had a slit, which was cute because she was able to show off her prosthetic, which she's very proud of. I didn't necessarily see sexy. Like, to me, she looked like a little girl in a dress that was inappropriate with that slit. Y'all know what I'm saying? So that was Marquise. So, Victoria, I already told you. And Marquise's dress was red. Victoria's dress was red. And all Victoria did was make the same damn dress she'd been making. She made the first 3 weeks, except for this one is just too damn short. She cut it wrong, or she misjudged something. But that dress was too short. And she knew it was too short. And Sergio knew it was too short. And it was too damn short. The dress was too damn short. And it was the same dress she's made 20 times. Did I tell y'all it was too short? Okay. Sergio, who just knew he had done it, honey. He just knew that he had done the damn thing with this dress with this pregnant woman. And it was let me tell you what the dress like. Let me say this. It was not an ugly dress. Was it anything special about the dress? Was it anything inventive about the dress? Was it anything jaw-dropping about the dress? Absolutely not. No way, no how, no ma'am. Now look, here's the thing. That dress looked like two things. That dress looked like either it looked like her maternity dress. Oh, that's the other thing, honey. He said, well, I'm not used to making maternity gowns because, you know, most women who are pregnant don't want to spend a lot of money on their clothes because it's only temporary. And as much as my dresses cost. And they showed one of his dresses that was $12,000. See, that's the problem that I'm having, you guys, with this new format of Project Runway, where you have people on here who are not necessarily amateurs. So you put somebody like a Sergio who's selling dresses for $12,000 next to somebody like a Nancy who's only been doing this for 3 or 4 years. See, even though she's holding her own, I don't like that format. I think this should be an amateur competition, and I think if you've done a certain amount of things, I just don't think you should qualify. But that's my 2 cents. Nobody asked me. It's whatever. But it looked like either her dress for her wedding shower. It looked like the dress for her baby shower. Lord, I was going to say bridal shower. See, it looked like her dress for her baby shower. It was yellow. It was flowy. It had what they call it, the empire waist thing, and it was flowy, and it had a little cutout in the back. And that cutout in the back is the only thing that saved him because that's the part that they really like. Other than that, they were not that impressed. And then, you know, they making suggestions to him. And once again, he's telling them that they're wrong. Talking about, they said, well, you know, Floyd, they said, well, I just, you know, she's pregnant. I just thought she'd want to be comfortable. And they were like, well, Brandon was like, well, Floyd doesn't mean, comfortable doesn't always mean flowy. Like, comfortable could mean that you're confident. And the other judge, the black judge, was like, you know, why didn't you, you know, she's got a beautiful body. Why didn't you show off her body, show off her show off her belly bump? And he was like, well, I don't think that women would want, I mean, I know I'm not a woman, but I would never want to be in a tight dress if I were a pregnant woman. Now that makes me question you. Once again, this goes back to the Celine Dion thing. That makes me question you because I'm thinking, Have you not seen all of these pregnant women that wear these tight dresses to show off their belly bump, that even wear cutouts to have their belly bump hanging out? Like, have you not seen that there's been this revolution over the last 4 or 5 years where women are just showing off this belly bump? It is not considered like, you know, I remember when younger and you would see a pregnant belly and you'd be like, oh my gosh, why is she showing her belly? But now it is like women are just celebrating that. Like, are you missing that whole fashion trend, Sergio? See, again, you say these things that make you seem like you way up here, but then you do these things that make me seem like, are you really into the fashion like you say you are? Nancy, I thought Nancy did a beautiful job. It was a beautiful dress. The only critique, the judges kind of questioned the color a little bit, but then some of the other judges liked the color. She did a great job when she was coming down that the runway in her wheelchair, honey. You could tell she was the cat's meow, honey, and it was a beautiful dress. I thought it was a beautiful dress. Brittany's dress, I thought Brittany's dress was beautiful. Her client was a little thicker. And I think she said she wanted something she could wear on a date with her husband. She's got really bad tan lines, and so she wanted to be able to cover up her tan lines. I thought it was a beautiful dress. Now, everybody thought it was basic, but as a big woman, that's a dress I would wear. That's a dress that I would love someone to make for me. You know what I mean? I thought that it accented, I don't think it made her look big. It was sexy. It accented, her curves and her bust line and everything. I thought it was a beautiful dress. For me, she was my winner. They thought it was basic. Okay. See, that's with me not having like a fashion eye, I guess. Who's left, child? Who's left? Jeffrey's dress was just a lot. It wasn't fitted. It was too big in some areas, but he kept having to fix it. Like, he scrapped his whole first dress. And what he said, something that I thought was interesting. He said, I wish I was the kind of person that could fix the problem, but he said it would save me a lot of time. So he couldn't fix the issue. He just had to start over from scratch, which that's going to be, or it was a problem in this challenge. It's going to be a problem. Was that everybody, child? I think was that everybody I talked about? Hold on, let me make sure I got everybody. We talked about Victoria, too short. We talked about Marquise, not mature enough. We talked about Jeffrey. It was just a lot going on with that. We talked about Sergio. He didn't really do a whole lot with that belly bump. And then we talked about Brittany. Okay, got everybody. So, the top two were, and what I liked that they did was, they went over the designs and then they let the clients leave the runway and then they critiqued. Because in past years, I always felt bad for the clients having to stand there and hear the outfit that they liked being torn apart. I like the fact that they didn't have to sit through it on the runway and hear the critique. I like the fact that they felt good. None of them complained about their outfit. None of them had a problem with what was designed for them. None of them disliked it or said they had a bad experience. But the top two were Nancy and Victoria. Now, look, I'm just not understanding how Victoria was in the top. I would have had Brittany in the top. Hell, I'd have took Sergio in that, because over Victoria, I'd have took Sergio. But anyway, Nancy won the challenge. I think Nancy deserved to win that challenge. I think Nancy went above and beyond. And I think Nancy absolutely cared about her client and making sure her client felt beautiful. Everybody else was in the bottom. Now, here's where understanding production and understanding that in that first episode, when they sent 2 people home, when they were only going to send 1 person home, created this moment. Basically, nobody got sent home. And what they said was, because the clients were so happy, and the garments weren't, none of the garments were absolutely horrid. There were just things that were wrong, if that makes sense, that everybody got to save for the most part. Now, Jeffrey was saying that he feels like that means they're going to eliminate 2 people next week. I don't feel like that, unless they said it and I missed it. Because remember, they eliminated 2 people that first week that they said they weren't going to eliminate. So they had to balance out the numbers. Then again, we are getting close to New York Fashion Week. We are getting close to the end. Who knows what they're going to do next week. But that's what it was. That's how it went. Y'all let me know what y'all think in them comments. Talk to you later. Peace. Oh, Lord.